What if everything we were taught about ancient history is incomplete? What if, buried beneath the sands of time, lies a civilization so advanced it could shatter our entire understanding of the human story? This isn't just a legend. It's a mystery that mainstream history struggles to explain. A puzzle whose pieces are scattered across the globe, hinting at a lost golden age. We're talking about a civilization with knowledge that defies its supposed era-precision engineering, advanced astronomy, and a global presence that predates our known explorers by millennia. Their sudden disappearance from the historical record is one of the most profound enigmas of our time. The discovery of their full story doesn't just add a new chapter to our past. It threatens to rewrite the entire book. Historians and archaeologists have long painted a linear picture of human progress. From primitive hunter-gatherers to the first agricultural settlements, leading eventually to the great empires of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley. This is the timeline we learn in school. Yet, scattered across the planet, from the high plains of the Andes to the sunken ruins off the coast of Japan, are anomalous structures and artifacts that don't fit. These discoveries raise uncomfortable questions. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the sheer precision of ancient stonework. In places like Puma, Punku, in Bolivia, or the Serapeum of Saqqara in Egypt, we find massive stone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, cut with such accuracy that a single sheet of paper cannot fit between them. The cuts are perfectly straight, the inner corners flawlessly executed. Mainstream archaeology often attributes this work to simple bronze tools and sheer manpower, but engineers today admit that replicating this level of precision, even with modern laser and diamond cutting technology, would be an immense challenge. One theory proposes that these builders possessed a lost technology for softening or manipulating stone. What this means is that their understanding of physics and material science may have been far beyond anything we give them credit for. How did they achieve this? What tools did they use? The official narrative offers no satisfactory answer. Then there is the mystery of their astronomical knowledge. Ancient sites worldwide are aligned with celestial bodies with breathtaking accuracy. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance, is aligned to true north with a precision that we didn't match until the age of modern observatories. Stonehenge, in England, acts as a sophisticated astronomical calendar, predicting solstices and eclipses. But it goes deeper. Some researchers believe these structures are part of a global grid, encoding complex mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio, and even mapping the dimensions of our planet. They seem to have known the precise circumference of the Earth, the tilt of its axis, and the slow wobble of its rotation known as precession, a cycle that takes nearly 26,000 years to complete. How could an ancient, supposedly primitive culture know this? To chart the precession of the equinoxes requires thousands of years of continuous, meticulous observation. Evidence suggests these civilizations possessed a legacy of knowledge passed down through generations, knowledge that is now lost. Who were these ancient astronomers, and where did they get this information? If this is already changing how you see history, make sure you stay with us until the end, because the connections only get deeper. Perhaps the most perplexing part of this puzzle is the sudden and often catastrophic end these civilizations met. Across the globe, from the Indus Valley to the Mayan heartland, we see evidence of highly advanced societies that simply vanished. Their cities were abandoned, their knowledge forgotten, their memory erased from history, surviving only in fragmented myths and legends. Many of these myths, from different corners of the world, tell a strikingly similar story. A great flood, a cataclysm from the sky, and a time when gods walked among men. For a long time, these were dismissed as mere fables. but recent geological evidence points to a period around 12,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age, marked by extreme climate change and catastrophic global flooding. Some researchers propose that a highly advanced global civilization was wiped out during this period, leaving behind only scattered survivors and enigmatic ruins. These survivors, according to the theory, became the civilizing gods of myth, attempting to pass on their knowledge to the more primitive tribes that inherited the earth. This would explain why so many early civilizations, like the Sumerians and Egyptians, seemed to appear out of nowhere, already possessing a sophisticated understanding of agriculture, law, writing, and architecture. They weren't inventing it, they were inheriting it. This theory of a lost mother culture also helps explain the uncanny similarities we see in ancient art, architecture, and symbolism across continents that were supposedly disconnected. How is it that we find pyramids in Egypt, Mexico, and Cambodia? Why do we see carvings of the master of animals, Motifa figure holding two beasts in both Mesopotamia and ancient South America? Why do so many independent cultures use serpent imagery to represent wisdom and the cosmos? Mainstream history attributes these to coincidence or parallel development, but that explanation begins to wear thin when the similarities become too numerous, too specific. A simpler explanation is that these cultures weren't developing in isolation. They were all drawing from a common source, a shared ancestral memory of a civilization that came before. What this means is that humanity's story isn't a series of independent sprints toward civilization, but a relay race, where the baton of knowledge was passed from a brilliant, forgotten predecessor. The question is no longer whether such a civilization existed, but who were they, and what else did they know? Their knowledge wasn't just technical. Evidence suggests it was deeply spiritual and connected to the very fabric of consciousness itself. Many ancient traditions speak of altered states of perception, the ability to interact with other dimensions, and a profound understanding of the human energy field. Structures like the Great Pyramid were not just tombs. Some researchers believe they were designed as energy-generating machines or consciousness-altering resonance chambers. Think of it this way: what if their most advanced technology wasn't physical, but metaphysical? What if they had mastered the science of the mind and spirit in a way we are only just beginning to rediscover through quantum physics and consciousness studies? This lost civilization may not have just left behind stone and gold, but a blueprint for human potential, a guide to unlocking powers that lie dormant within all of us. Their legacy might be the key to understanding not just our past, but also our future. Why was this knowledge lost? Was it deliberately hidden, or was the cataclysm that destroyed their world so complete that only the faintest echoes survived? So, we are left with a ghost in our history. A phantom civilization whose achievements challenge the very foundation of what we think we know. The evidence is there, etched in stone and encoded in myth, waiting for us to piece it together. Mainstream academia is slow to accept such a radical shift in perspective, as it would mean admitting that our current model of history is fundamentally flawed. But the questions won't go away. How did ancient cultures cut granite with machine-like precision? How did they know the exact dimensions of our planet? Why do their myths all tell the same story of a great cataclysm and a lost golden age? The answers point to a chapter of human history that has been torn out, and it's up to us to find the missing pages. If you enjoy exploring deep mysteries like this, hit that like button, it really helps the channel grow. And make sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos that challenge everything you thought you knew about our past. As we continue to unearth new ruins and decipher ancient texts, we get closer to the truth. But we must be open to the possibility that the story of humanity is far older, stranger, and more magnificent than we have ever been told. Perhaps the greatest threat to history is not what we don't know, but what we've been taught to forget.